everybody! This is your foxy writer, Brandy Ackerley, back for another episode of Person Behind the Pen. Speaking of foxy writers, I'd like to direct your gaze down here. This is the first plushie I drew. Isn't he adorable? I love him! Like I said in my last video, he will be out as a free VTuber asset eventually, but until I get more done or I have a variety of changes, he gets to stay right here. But I will let you know as soon as he's available, and I'll put a link in the description so you too will be able to have an adorable fox for your streams. Now, on to the meat and bones of this episode. I've been thinking about my content a bit more lately. Okay, I started thinking about changing my content lately. You see, my last two Person Behind the Pen videos actually performed rather well. Not like life-changingly well or anything. But instead, my room reveal and my more recent new projects just performed really well. To the point where I actually got a new subscriber. Yay! And while part of that may be that I'm making more time and effort to include social media in my day, I think it may also be that those two videos are my loosest format. You see, when I first started, I was nervous as all heck in front of the camera, and having a script always helped me to relax. So I would write a script, and I just accepted that if I needed to record something 20 times to get it right, well, I was just going to have to record it 20 times to get it right. I was also learning editing, which meant that sometimes the end result was super chunky and wasn't flowing together very well. Everything was like jump cuts, where I was looking somewhere completely different than I had been before, or I had a different arm movement, or I'd moved somewhere completely different. Now I've relaxed a little bit. I'm learning to record in chunks, and I've started getting a bit more exciting in my editing, like I'm using Zoom features and my new television. Along with that though, I've been listening to a few videos on content creation. And while I thought that I'd been looking into it before I started this page, that was literally just the tip of the iceberg. Things like choosing a name have come up, questions about what types of content I'm making, and even how to make things more dynamic have started to come up. So while my first month was very much me jumping in feet first and hoping the water wasn't as bad as it looked from the outside, the last few weeks have been a bit more introspective. Now, I read somewhere that while YouTube has a list of like, these things will help your channel grow, things that they suggest you do, there is a large counterpoint that says your first couple dozen videos really shouldn't follow that list. As they put it, YouTube isn't going to like you until you get a few subscribers, regardless. For instance, like YouTube, putting out your videos on time for YouTube is great for them. It tells them that you're consistent, which they think will help you be more popular. But if you have no fans to be consistent for, you can probably drop things for a day or two if you're really struggling. I mean, it's not going to make anything any worse for you. Similarly with content, knowing what your show is about and what you're offering to people is important. But in your first 50 episodes, you can still change that if you decide you want to do something different than you originally thought. Play around a bit. Most of your subscribers won't even notice until you get more used to it and actually settle into a pattern. So as I mentioned, that means I'm considering some changes to this channel. Nothing life-changing. I will still be publishing at least twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays. And while not much will be changing about my read-along, the second episode of the week has essentially always been a variety show of just whatever I happen to want to do that week. I want to try something new, I want to try some gaming. I want to be instructive, do a writing video tips video. Want to relax? Chat to the camera. So that is where you'll see the first changes. From here on, my Person Behind the Pen videos are going to be less of a variety show and more of this. Just casual chats about the things that I've been thinking that week. I will probably put less of those in the beginning of my read-alongs as well. Actual discussion type content will happen here. As an example, I started writing this episode as an episode of my read-along originally, but the format and the length of the discussion suggested that a full episode would suit it better. So, shorter entrances to my read-alongs and more casual chats on here will be the rule going forward. Now, as you may have noticed, there is also a small name change. While I do create worlds with words, and as a tagline, that really works, and I love it, and I'm keeping it, it isn't all I'm doing here. So, to match my names on Twitter, Instagram, and even on Twitch now, I have changed my name to Foxy Writer here as well. That way, people finding me from those places won't look for Foxy Writer only to realize that her channel doesn't exist here. It's a simple change that should make it easier to find me in the long run, with a name that people will remember more easily than creating worlds with words, or Brandy Ackerley. Oh, the next change is that I will be moving my writing tips to an extra show a few times a month. People are really liking those too, but if I'm only putting them out a couple of times a month, I may as well give them their own channel, their own time to shine. So I think that show will be coming out Mondays, but not on a weekly or monthly schedule for now. For now, they'll just simply be an extra episode when I have something I want to talk about. They may eventually become a twice a month or once a month sort of thing, but for right now, they're just going to be a bit more of whenever I have something that I want to talk about for writing tips. Lastly, I am starting up my Twitch channel sometime in mid-July, I think. I don't know how long my episodes will be yet, or if I'll just be gaming on there, but I do know that I will be doing some games, and I'll be starting off with those that I enjoy the most. Don't Starve, definitely, and maybe a few other fun ones, like Unholy Heights and Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, heck, I've been considering starting up a game of My Time at Portia, which I've never played before, but sounds amazing. I'll probably start with once a week or maybe twice a week streams, maybe a couple hours long each time. This will allow me to throw in a gaming highlights of those streams here on YouTube, so you won't have to watch the whole thing if you just want to get the highlights. I don't know if that's going to be a fourth show or not. Once again, that's up in the air for now. I also don't know how often I'm going to be having the highlights reel. So until I've done it a while, it's just going to be an extra I'll put out when I get a chance. So yeah, a lot of minor little changes that probably won't end up feeling like anything wild to you, but are definitely going to end up being a big change for me on the creating end. Still, I'm very excited to see what sticks around this time. So thank you for tuning in, and as always, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all next week. Bye!